Welcome to Level and Diecast, everybody. Matchbox, carry forward. Never like to say carry forward, but another carry forward 5-pack for 2025. All re-released models in this one. MBX Cruisers number 2 in this mix. A pretty decent assortment of models. I think most people will be most excited about the fact that the Retro Nova is included. That one was relatively difficult to find back in the day. Nothing particularly fancy with the packaging. It does have, of course, the El Camino on the side as the little card art, which is okay. So we'll go ahead and get our top opened up. This will be my new favorite way to open up 5-packs now that somebody actually mentioned that to me. So before we get started with the Mustang, we're going to look at the CarryForwards. So this is the original version of this particular Mustang. C13 is the date code. This is the original version of this casting, which is mostly metal. It's a little bit small. It had dual red stripes on there, red interior. It's got a sort of pearl white paint job on it. Dates on the back, no front or rear tampos. The 3 tri-spoke wheels on there. And then it was re-released, but this is the updated tooling, which now includes bumpers from the interior, which are mixed in. Still uses the 3 spokes, still has the red striping on it, although the red striping is significantly lighter on the re-released one. And then, of course, as we're dropping the models, the original one there on the top, the new one there on the bottom. Just some base changes. Obviously, the bumper and stuff like that changed up. I just can't seem to hold this model. Some details, differences there. The new one on the left, the original version on the right, and a little bit more details, comparison to the front there. So for comparison purposes, we'll take our most recent release because, of course, we know it will be the most current casting. So let's go ahead and grab that one right here. So there is our 65 Mustang. It still uses the red stripes and stuff on there, but you'll see right away very dramatic difference. We do have a gray interior on the newest released one. So new interior on there, so very, very, very good. Like that the Matchbox team seems to be putting forth some effort to make these a little bit different. Obviously, since it has the gray interior, we'll have a gray bumper and gray bumpers on the back as well. But it is, of course, the updated casting. So that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like the fact that there's a new interior color in there. That is a pretty nice little change up on that, guys. So we'll set him out there. All right, next one up we're going to take a look at is a re-release of this guy right here, the 75 Chevy Caprice. This original one dated P10. It is in a kind of an emerald, like light emerald kind of color with the disc hub wheels on there. Chrome base looks pretty decent. This model is just not old enough. There's really going to be nothing different unless they change the interior or anything. This is the new one right here. There is no date code on the base. The original one there on the top, the new one on the bottom. There's a pretty significant shade difference between the two of them. Again, the original one there on the top. The interiors are the same color. The interior window is the same. Of course, the casting itself is the same. There's a little bit of print on the side. So you see a little bit of print for the door handle, a little bit of silver print for the striping down the side. They use the same wheels. They use the same chrome base. There are no prints on the front or back. That helps to differentiate the shade difference there a little bit better with the original one right here on the right. So it is darker than the new one. But, you know, we talk about these CarryForwards all the time. You really have to really stretch it to see the difference. But at least there is somewhat of a shade difference in there. So we'll throw our Chevy down there. Now this one right here, we're just going to jump right into them. So this is your Curtis sports car. This was recently a Mattel Creations model for Motor Trend, which was pretty good. So this is our new one right here on the right, or I'm sorry, on the left. And then our existing one right here on the right, which is dated P39. Again, this model is just not old enough. I will tell you that the base is much darker on the original one, or I'm sorry, on the new one there on the bottom. So you got a darker base. The base details, though, are going to be the same. Like I said, this model is just not old enough to have anything different with it. It says Curtis on the front. Headlight prints are the same. Same interior. The new one definitely, or I'm sorry, the existing one, this one on the right, which is our existing one, a little bit darker interior, just a little bit. You got to have the right lighting for it. As far as the prints and stuff on the back, they look pretty close. It looks pretty exact. It does say Curtis in there. There's a Curtis plate underneath there. It's actually quite a bit of print that you can't really see because it's covered up by that chrome bumper. And then it just says Curtis on the top. As far as shade details, there's a little bit of a shade detail like you'd expect, but really nothing too fancy. Again, this one on the left is, of course, the new release. The one on the right is the existing one. So that one is definitely a big, huge bummer. Definitely a big, huge bummer. All right, moving on to the Nova. This was from the Retro series. This one was actually a little bit difficult to come across. It says Nova Dream on there, 350 cubic inch. It also has Lugo Engineering for Abe Lugo, and then Adlar 58 Racing for Michael Geralda, of course, who designed the deco. A little bit of kind of prints on the front. Looks pretty good. It's kind of a metallic. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's basically just metallic orange, but I don't know. It just looks good. It looks good. It pops pretty good. This is, of course, the new release right here. It does have all the same details on there. Still says Lugo Engineering, Adlar 58 Racing. Uses the tri-spokes just like the other one with just the tri-spoke part printed. So on the top is the existing one. On the bottom is the new one. So you can see on the top, all the prints are much darker for the side pass. So it's basically red, dark red, versus the new one, which is a light red. The prints for Nova Dream, a little bit thicker on the original one on the top, a little bit thinner on the new one on the bottom. And then, of course, the orange is the most dramatic. So on the bottom is the new one, and that is significantly darker orange than the one on the top. I mean, night and day, you can tell. As far as prints on the front go, exactly the same. Again, a little bit of difference in the red. If I can hold these, there we go. Sorry about that. A little bit of difference in the red, but not much. The design is the same, but the most dramatic part, of course, is the orange base of the model. That color looks pretty good. Again, dark versus light red there on the side. And then there is your base deets. Again, this casting is just not old enough to make a difference. R02 is the original day code. All the same base deets are exactly the same. But that is a good casting. I really do like that casting. They did a great job. We need to see more of that casting. All right, last one in the mix, of course, 1970 Chevy El Camino. This model has been modified a couple times over its life. This is the most updated casting version. See, 1997 and 2015 Mattel. New casting all the way back in 97. Matter of fact, it was like right out of the Tyco era. So it still has that kind of Tyco flair to it. Chrome base on this one. Dual black stripes on the hood. A little bit of silver print on the side. This one has silver print over the fenders as well. It says El Camino SS. No prints on the front. No prints on the back. Again, updated casting, which includes a bunch of plastic. However, this is the original version here. This is the original version of the casting. So you see it does have the all-metal base. Prints on the front are the same, although the striping is printed a little bit different, especially towards the end of the hood. The original one on the top also had a little bit of silver print for the hood pins, which the new one does not. Details on the side. It did have side pass print for the top one, which is the original. But the bottom one, they added the silver print around the wheel wells, which is pretty nice. So we'll take that detail and just a little bit extra. And then there is your base deets. That is the original one there. Still has the circle Matchbox logo. Made in Thailand. That was a different era back then for sure. 1997 Mattel. And then, of course, there is the updated one without the crazy, like, I don't know, like almost like aluminum foil coating, it seems like, on the bottom. So that one is significantly different. Way, way, way different than the other one. But there you go. That is the newest 5-pack carryover. Matchbox Cruisers 2, I think is what that one was called. Doing the comparos as we normally do. But again, a carry forward 5-pack, not that great. You can make a decision on whether you want to pick this up based on comparos. Anyways, we're going to roll out. Catch you next time on Level M. Peace!